In the contract functionality of service management, you will find 5 batch jobs, 5 periodic activities that can help you. We will review the following batch jobs. First, we will have a look at create contract service orders. Then we will have a look at create service contract invoices, remove service contract lines, post prepaid service contract entries, and finally update service contract prices. The first batch job, create contract service orders, will automatically create service orders for those service items that need servicing in a specific period of time. It's going to check for all or a filtered service contract list whether the next planned service date for a service item on a service contract is within the date range of this batch. So how is this going to work? Well, you start by filling in the date range that you want to use. Now remember also from your settings, remember from the general service management setup, there was a parameter that allowed you to determine how wide this range can be. So the starting date and ending date, the distance between those two can be 365 days maximum, and that's also what is in the parameter now of the service management setup configuration. So you can start by saying like, well, the 1st of January 2018 up until the 31st of 18, and then you specify the action and you will say, well, we will check all service items on service contracts, whether there are service items that have a next planned service date which is in between the starting date and the ending date. And for those, we are going to create a service order. Now this has a very important implication. It will only create a service order for the next planned service date. So it will not create service orders for a whole year, for instance. So it will not take one service item and then create like 10 different service orders for each month maintenance. No, it will take only it will only create a service order for the next planned service date of that specific service item. So for each service item, you can have maximum 1 service order created with this batch job. If you want, what you also can do is, of course, limit down the range of the contracts that you wanna investigate, and that's done by implementing a filter here. We just reviewed the create contract service orders. Let's now have a look at create service contract invoices. The second batch job that you can use is the create service contract invoices. And this batch job will help you to invoice your service contracts in a batch job instead of manually. So we have seen that on the service contracts you have a function where you can really invoice your contracts by each contract, but this will allow you to invoice a batch of service contracts. And how does it work? Well, you will select a posting date, so that will be the posting date of all the invoices that are generated through this batch job. Next thing what you need to do is select an invoice to date, and that means actually a date up until which the next planned invoice date is in. So if the invoice date is before the next planned invoice date of your service contract is before this date, then the action will take place, which is in this case create invoices. For all these batch jobs you can also do a print only to see what the result would be, but the real action is to create invoices, and then you get all the invoices created for your service contracts. What you also can do is filter down the list on which the batch job is applicable. You can also remove the service contract lines with a batch job. Let's have a look. So let's open up the batch job, remove service contract lines, and what you see here is remove lines to and then a specific date. And remember, we actually also use this function from a contract or within one service contract itself. And there's a function that allows you to remove lines as well. And if you remember well, that function is using the contract expiration date on the line level. So on your service contract, on the line level where you have your service item, there is a contract expiration date. And that is the date that is going to be examined here by this batch job. And it's going to compare that expiration date with this date. Is the expiration date before this date, then your contract line will be removed. You can give a reason code for it, and the line will then be deleted, and you can again place a filter on the range of the contracts that you want to be examined. The next batch job that we will examine is the post-prepaid service contract entries batch job. So this post-prepaid service contract entries batch job will transfer prepaid service contract amounts from the prepaid account, so the temporary accounts, to the final income accounts. Remember that we could set up for the prepaid contracts temporary accounts where you post your postings on. And what this batch job is going to do is transfer whatever is posted on those accounts to the final income accounts. And when you open up this batch job, you will see that you have here the post until date. And this is the date up to which you will want to post your prepaid entries. So you will transfer prepaid postings with a posting date before this date. And then you specify the posting date itself and the action, which is either you're going to print it or you're going to really do the prepaid transaction, the posting itself. You can also filter down your service ledger entries where you want to, the reach of that, you want to maybe limit it so that not all service ledger entries are taken in consideration for this batch job, but only the ones that you filter out. And let's also have a look at the last batch job, the update service contract prices batch job. This update service contract prices batch job will update prices on those service contracts that need price updates. It updates the contract value of the service items. The batch job takes in consideration those contracts where the next price update date is before the update to date. So before we open up this batch job, let's first have a look on the service contracts again, and let's have a look where we can find the field that specifies the next price update date. So on your service contract, when you scroll down a little bit, you see that there is a price update fast step. And to start with, you first need to actually set a price update period. And here you see that this contract is having a yearly schedule of price updates. And based on that, the next price update date is calculated. So you see here is it where we find that next price update date, and it is configured taking in consideration the price update period. The fields which are here then last price update percentage and last price update date are actually the result of the execution of that batch job. And what you also can do is if these prices increase, for instance, then you can add a standard text, and then the next time that there will be an invoice, you will have that standard text on the invoice as well. And what the batch job is of course going to do is increasing the line value of your service items on your contract. So let's have a look then now at the update service contract prices batch job itself. So you here see the update to date. So remember where it came from. It comes from the service contract, the price update fast step. Now, so the date here So we are going to take in consideration those contracts where the next price update is before this date. So you can fill this one in, and then you can add it with an update percentage, an action, which is either you're going to print the result to check it, or you really can conduct the update by selecting this update contract prices. And of course you can filter and limit down the range of this batch job by placing filters on your service contracts.